Tucker Carlson. Both was fired today and let go by their respected stations that they worked for. Fox News got rid of Tucker Carlson. CNN got rid of Don Lemon. Don Lemon has been on a thin vine for a last few months. Reports of him being hostile to work with, his behavior, but I thought he should be fired years ago. I think he does an egregious job of reporting the news. I think he reports agendas. And Tucker Carlson also. Both of them come in on a slant and look for reasons to defend the people that they like instead of reporting on the actual evidence. They said this is the reason that he was let go and terminated when they had a presidential candidate, the GOP presidential candidate, that came on CNN, and Don Lemon decided, let's attack what he's saying instead of actually listening to what he said. Let's hear what.
Due respect, I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to Black Americans, to say that Black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured. And the Second Amendment was part of what
hang on, please. I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear. So hang on one second. So to say that Black people, say what you said again.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
Now, he just stated something that's actually factual. That is factual. But listen to what Don Lemon says.
We're not secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not, you are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting a whole host of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because Black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to.
And you know how they got it? They got their Second Amendment rights, and they actually got the NRA played a big role in that. But today, down the
NRA did not play a big role.
Absolutely, they trained Black Americans how to use firearms.
That's a lie. That's not. The NRA did not play a big role.
This is just historical fact. But down the part that I find,
because you say it's historical fact,
the part that I find insulting is when you say today Black Americans don't have those rights after we have gone through civil rights revolution in this country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I have a different point of view.
Black and white that Black people don't have.
Well, now he's using the race, and this is when he's using his race. When Don Lemon has done basically diddly squat for his race. He uses the race to try to win an argument or win a debate by over talking and cutting off the man who's actually speaking. Let him finish a thought, then you come next, so we can have a more concise understanding instead of this.
In this country, and that Black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without
should
me
Cut him right off again.
regarding you as a Black man,
that
but me regarding you as a fellow citizen.
You're
That's what I think we should say.
whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me.
Whatever ethnicity,
Whatever ethnicity you are. Why does this man's ethnicity has to do with this conversation? He's talking to you as a man. He's not judging you as a Black man or a gay man or any other man. He's judging, having a conversation with you, man to man.
To be Black
whatever ethnicity I am, I'll tell you what I am. I'm an Indian American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white, doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on
debate.
The content of the ideas.
You should do it.
Right. The content of the ideals. You are turning it into a race issue with an Indian American man. This is what got him fired. He fired himself. He should have been fired.
Do it in an honest way and in a fair way. And what you're doing is not an honest and fair way.
And look, she's sitting there like, how much longer do I got to sit here on this and just look dumb, dumbfounded every day? I got to sit here and listen to this. He's there doing an agenda to tear down a Republican presidential candidate. Now, CNN was in his ear trying to tell him, Don, what the hell you doing? Listen to me. They yelling like a mug. Don, let the man talk. Then he basically silenced them. Like, I can't keep my thought if y'all gonna keep yelling at me in my earpiece. Then he was let go. But he should have been fired. This isn't the first time he's done this. Don Lemon has done this countless times, people. Not only has Don Lemon done this countless times, it has gotten so egregious and so out of hand. He has been grossly, negligently getting away with these type of behaviors for years. Never done anything for black people, but claim they're fighting for the rights of black people. And use his skin color and homosexuality as reasons to get him out of trouble. Nobody at CNN wanted to touch him because of these issues. Anybody else would have been terminated for the egregious things that he was doing and saying on this show in the past couple of months. He had gotten in trouble at prime time. They removed him and moved him to daytime in the mornings. So hopefully he'll have a whole nother audience. The people that hate him are probably still asleep. But nope, he screwed that up. He's always been a slime. He didn't care about black people. He cared about his bottom line and using black people pain to try to, when he don't advocate for that. They advocate for homosexual rights, which for some people believe that that's our rights. Exactly. I mean, you got to look at it. It's like if we had somebody that was on our team that was foul, who always wanted to be there for the negative parts, but never there for none of the positive moments. Don Lemon became a celebrity, and that was the worst thing that ever happened for them. He was overly aggressive, and I will have a Patreon version of this because this is me holding back a lot. So, yeah. Right. He screamed at, you are a black man. You cannot scream at a white woman that you work with. Screaming at the crew, the production crew. You're not that big, buddy. Your Skittles crew will not be able to get you out of all this. That was just 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and right after that, he followed it right up the next week and started talking about women's age. Women's in their prime at a certain age. It's like, what? What is a woman's prime? But he's stupid enough to say that because he thinks he can get away with it. He's been doing it forever. His Skittles crew can get him out of anything. So he can attack women, he can attack black people, white people. He didn't forgot. Or he thinks he's above everything. And he doesn't know black history like he thinks he does. He doesn't. He was just trying to one up the guy by cutting him off and coming over top of him. That doesn't make your answers correct because you cut someone off and go over top of them. He woke up today and his agent said, "Hey man, yeah, don't get ready for work. you ain't got to come in today, this Monday." What? They didn't even have the courtesy to let him know he was fired. They just called his agent. After 17 years, they just call your agent. I just think black homosexual men or homosexual men, period, should not be all up in women's business. I just have a problem with that, period. But he seems to always be involved in women's business. I mean, you don't like women. What's the point? Why are you all in their business? Yeah, the Patreon version will be a lot more brutal. If you think this is brutal, I advise don't even watch the Patreon version because the Patreon version will be a lot more brutal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man, he's very arrogant. Very arrogant. Loved to tear people down to shreds. That was him. He thought he was the teller of the truth as he make all his suggestions for black people. Oh my goodness. Don Lemon is going to make suggestions for us. He was really arrogant for that. So more than Tucker Carlson, I have disdain for him way more than Tucker Carlson. Mm-hmm. They mostly all of them do it. They just don't get caught. Oh, come on. Tucker Carlson thought he was clear. He was getting ready to probably, oh, I'm going to talk about this. Don Lemon got fired. Wait a minute. I'm gone too? Wait a minute. I'm out? Now,
Carlson today.
he's out. Tucker Carlson. A lot of people like Tucker Carlson. I think he got there, sat down with Kanye West, gave Kanye the interview and all of this, his geopolitical crap, GOP heavy. Tucker Carlson is who I expected him to be. I don't think he's going to speak the right things for black folks. I don't expect him to. He's Tucker Carlson. Does it look like this guy has any black folks around him at all doing anything? Do you think he hangs out with black people? Even black GOP people? Do you think he hang around them? Absolutely not. But he can eat pizza live on TV, drink a beer, but criticize anybody black who's drinking a beer and eating on television. These kind of people are what's wrong with the country. These are the people that are pariahs. They'll say something that's only correct only if it's correct about the opposition. Everybody's living in a glass house. They'll say one thing that's correct that we'll agree with, be like, yo, that's the truth. But we don't like them because we don't like who told the message. So Tucker Carlson was right about some things, but it came from a place of, I'm just doing that to shade them, the other side. I really don't give a damn. So you got to understand who people are. Somebody might say, hey, man, yeah, the sun is out today. Your enemy might say, man, the sun is out today. Why? Because the sun just happened to be out today. Just because they're right don't mean nothing about them. They still might be a piece of it. And that's Tucker Carlson. Now, what Fox News is doing is what they won't like to call is draining the swamp. Well, see, it happens when you get hit with $787 million defamation penalty. Yeah, see, the LA Times had to bring it all up when Rupert Murdoch made the call to fire him and about his January 6th coverage. You know, NSNBC, the chief legal correspondent, what was that, Ari Melber, and they broke down how the defamation case drew a new line for falsehoods at Fox and how they reported on it and accountability and legal experts, and now they have a system working. And all of that came into play with firing Tucker Carlson. All of this goes to January 6th. So if you know that, then you understand that kind of reckless journalism on the network like Fox won't be tolerated. And with a $787 million defamation lawsuit by powerful people is in play, that can bankrupt Fox forever. Because the people that support Fox are not your usual everyday people that croon around the internet. No, they different. Yeah, I hold Don Lemon more credible because he's our complexion. He's pretends to be one of us, but isn't. Done nothing for us, but portray like he's us. Like I just had to check Jamel Hill. He got fired for doing his job. Oh my. She's another one. I used to be crazy about you, woman. Now you didn't join these damn lefts. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's all that guy does. He comes in and trolls. So it don't surprise anybody sitting here. No, we getting ready for the Lakers and Grizzlies game. You know I am. Come on. You think I'm gonna miss that? I got the Jimmy Butler game up here because it's basically Jimmy Butler versus the Bucks. Jimmy had 22 in the first quarter. Well, you gotta ask yourself, like, why are these things keep happening? Don't you find that a little strange? I chose not to be involved in a industry that doesn't make any sense. You feel me? I refuse to be in an industry or be around something that, well, I think is non-beneficial. If that makes any sense to anybody else in the world. The system don't work because people in the system are not caring about the system itself. They're just there for themselves. Everybody's greedy. It's like all the politicians want to do is put a foot in your ass. So who you gonna do? What you gonna do? Vote for the person with the smallest foot? I mean, that's what I'm supposed to do? Sit around and vote for the person with the smallest foot? I mean, what else could anybody do? Dog, Tucker Carlson. Mm-mm. I really don't feel like that. Bye, Stacy. Welcome to the block list. Lee letting them know they're gonna be up out of there. Ain't nothing but a see no party. I mean, it was completely terrible. Ridiculous comments. Well, he's out once again. He didn't take the high road in his firing, but he should have did what I said before. You might as well get your own show, call it the Squeeze the Lemon, and welcome to Squeeze the Lemon with Don Lemon. Get your own show. Because really, he should have been fired years ago. Of course. Right. I'm going to do my Patreon version now. So let me shut this down and go to Patreon so I can get all this out my system at once. That way I could feel comfortable in saying something. Because I know if I'm here, I'm going to say something crazy anyway. I know they ain't going to monetize this. So let me go ahead and get up out of here. Go over to Patreon so I could drop the Patreon version because that's going to be a little bit more vicious. So I got to get that while I'm still in that mode. I'm out.